Hey everybody, Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center. We have a lot to recap today. It was the First Alert Weather Day, first because of heat and humidity, and then we had those severe warned thunderstorms, flash flood warnings in parts of Connecticut. Now all of that is behind us. We look ahead to a quieter stretch of weather, but we still have a lot to talk about when it comes to temperature swings and the tropics. And we're going to do it all for you right here on our First Alert Weather Extra. High temperatures today, right around 90 degrees. Tweed, New Haven made it to 90. Bridgeport made it to 90. Hartford Brainerd made it to 92, but Windsor Locks, where it counts for the Hartford area, only 89 today, meaning that with a temperature of 89 on Sunday and a temperature of 89 today, we did not make, this was not an official heat wave. We needed to make it to 90 either Sunday or today, and we fell short of that. So our 90-degree day tally remains unchanged from yesterday. We are at 20 for the year so far, and that's typically what we see in a year. We do have one more 90-degree day forecast over the next 7. We'll cross that bridge in just a moment. We began the month with temperatures running below average Friday and Saturday. Friday the 1st, Saturday the 2nd. Highs were only in the mid and upper 70s. So really, almost 10 degrees below where we typically would have been. Since then, though, temperatures have swung back above average with some 90-degree days in the mix. And today was not one of those, nor was Sunday. Only 2 days at above 90, so not a heat wave. We did, however, add a green tile to the calendar today. And that was thanks to some showers and storms that moved through earlier. Now, about 6 hours ago, we were starting to see some development west of Connecticut. Some of the heaviest rain associated with those thunderstorms that were building in the lower Hudson Valley moving into the western part of the state. But as the showers moved east, they fizzled out. And we're still watching them fizzle in real time, certainly a little more robust along Long Island South Shore. And points south. So we missed out on that second round of rain. We do need rain pretty desperately across the state. It was certainly a boom and bust scenario depending on where you are. We also did end up with some storm reports in Sharon, in Middlebury, in Broadbrook, and in East Windsor. So some isolated damage reports, trees down, wires down, and there was a lightning strike in Manchester today too. Right now, we're not talking about thunderstorms, but we do have some light showers on First Alert Live Radar. This is looping over the last 30 minutes, so you can get an idea of the progression as these showers move off to the east. When it came to rain totals, we did have a couple of bullseyes, one near Middlebury and Naugatuck, where our rain totals were up over 3 inches, and a second one eastern Hartford County back toward Windsor Locks and Southwick, Massachusetts, North Granby, East Granby, and Granby. That's where we also had some totals come in up over 3 inches. So we had a report in South Windsor, 3.5, 3.2 inches in Naugatuck, 1.09 inches in New Milford, 9/10 of an inch reported out of Vernon, 5/8 of an inch reported in Winchester, and Eric from Mansfield Center reported 0.26 inches, just over a quarter of an inch. And there were some towns that saw nothing at all, maybe light sprinkles, and that was it. And we had a report out of East Woodstock that there wasn't even a sprinkle. It was just dry all day. So certainly not a well spread out rain event. The new drought monitor will be released around 8:30 tomorrow morning, so a little less than 12 hours. And we will, of course, update you when that information is available. Certainly possible. We unfortunately would see that abnormally dry region get expanded. Now, on First Alert Futurecast, letting it run right through tomorrow, we don't really see much of a chance for showers. Pretty isolated in nature before we see that shift to a more northerly wind, bringing drier air into the state. At one point, we thought maybe tomorrow would be a bit more active too, but things just keep on trending drier for the day. Good news is it won't impact your outdoor plans much. Bad news because we do need the rain. Here's a live look at our iCam in New London, 74 degrees right now. Winds out at the south-southwest at 7 miles per hour. We'll take you live to Waterbury where the roads are still wet from those light showers passing through right now. 70 degrees, but calm winds. A live look at our iCam in Torrington. You can see the Naugatuck River there on the left side of your screen. It is flowing at a very normal rate, nothing too notable. A live look at our iCam in New Haven, where things are looking perhaps a little bit damp on the streets. We are tracking showers that are moving into East Haven right now and making their way toward Guilford. So we are looking at some damp roadways in the greater New Haven area. Not too much of an impact. We're looking live in Rocky Hill now, north of the Hartford skyline. We can see the Hartford skyline, and we'll finish off with a live look at our iCam in Middletown, where things are just a little bit damp right now. So certainly a very active afternoon and evening in northwestern parts of the state. Not the case in the southeastern part of our state. Temperatures have dropped 70 to 75 for many towns, mid and upper 70s along the shoreline. Dew points are also in the 70s. It's humid outside, and we are going to keep the humidity around through the remainder of the evening and overnight tonight, which means temperatures will only settle in the upper 60s and lower 70s. So we're mostly cloudy from here on out, staying humid. Any shower and storm chance will be fading as the night goes on. We'll take it town by town for highs tomorrow, mid and upper 80s forecast throughout most of Connecticut. Could even be a couple of spots that flirt with 90 but ultimately fall short just south of, say, Hartford and Glastonbury. We're looking at 89 there. But otherwise, temperatures in the mid and upper 80s. A brighter day overall, especially since we only see an isolated risk for showers. Bit of a sea breeze develops, keeping shoreline temps just a little bit lower, but we're still expecting mostly mid-80s in our southern four counties. The exception could be the typical cool spots, say extreme southeastern Connecticut, Stonington Borough into Groton, Mystic, Long Point, those areas. So we'll have this front that swings through, and that's the cold front that will allow ultimately for a big change in what we actually feel outside. By Friday, that front, rather high pressure pushing that front out, bringing bright skies and more comfortable weather. Dew points will drop back a bit. And what we'll have to watch for is as we get into the middle and end of next week, maybe a quick drop in temperature actually below average for this time of year. And just to put things in perspective, our average high is still in the 80s. It will be in the 80s through September 2nd. So we still have about, say, 3 weeks, give or take, with average highs in the 80s, and over a month with average highs above 70. So our average high drops to 70 on September 29th, just in case you're wondering how things tend to unfold over the next, say, 6 to 8 weeks. By October 24th, average high for the Hartford area goes to 60 degrees. We, of course, are not forecasting anything quite that cool on our first 7-day forecast. We're back in the upper 80s tomorrow, still humid, so it feels a bit hotter. By Friday, 85, full sunshine, 87 Saturday. We're forecasting 93 inland on Sunday. And along the shoreline, we'll be in the mid-80s the next few days, back to 90 by Sunday. So Sunday, the second half of the weekend, looks like maybe some great beach weather. Good time to hang out by the pool. And if you want to spend time outside, we're not looking at too much in the way of humidity, so it won't feel oppressively hot out there, although it will certainly still be a bit hot. Now, by Monday, we're forecasting mid-80s. As another cold front drops through, some showers will be possible. It does not look like a washout. And again, this will not be the soaking rain that we need on Tuesday next week, though. That does mean temperatures will be near average and then back below on Wednesday. At this point in time, we're looking at maybe some cirrus clouds on Wednesday, and that could be in association with Erin. It depends on where Erin tracks, and we are watching Erin's track very closely. The latest from the National Hurricane Center, which is the 5 p.m. update. The next one will be out for our 11 o'clock news over on Channel 3. Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon will have the latest on that. But it still shows Erin is a tropical storm moving west at 17 miles an hour. It's still a pretty fast forward speed for tropical storm. But as it slows down, it will start to strengthen. Maximum winds right now sustained at 50 miles per hour. So it becomes a hurricane either late tomorrow, early Friday, and then it becomes a major hurricane by Sunday, and that continues into Monday. What we have to watch for is where high pressure over the Atlantic sets up. If that high is a bit farther west, then that means that Erin will not steer north until later, which could imply perhaps more impacts to the eastern seaboard of the United States. Now, nothing is set in stone yet, and we still have plenty of time to track Erin, so we'll be watching this very closely. But on the other hand, if the high is a little bit farther east, a little bit more out over, say, closer to the central Atlantic, that means that we'll have that northern turn a bit sooner. That would be the ideal scenario for us because it would miss the entire eastern United States. So still on the table that this is a complete out-to-sea storm, a fish storm, if you will. We'll be watching that very closely. Maybe by the middle of next week, we'll be talking about increased wave heights. Well, more on that as we get closer. Next name on the list is Fernand, but nothing shows really big signs of actually becoming a named system here over the next 7 days. When it comes to 90-degree days so far this year, just as a little point of comparison before we finish up, we did want to mention that we're running lower than last year. Last year we had 27 days at or above 90. In 2023, though, we had 15. We had almost 30 in 2022. So we're right on average, and we may add another one this weekend. That's what we're expecting on Sunday. Showers possible by Monday. And then by the middle of next week, temperatures start to slowly drop back down. So we're going from near to slightly above average to above average by Sunday. And then we're riding the roller coaster back down Tuesday into Wednesday next week. Those days next week, too, will also be accompanied by very pleasant levels of humidity. So it actually looks like very, very nice weather. So certainly something to look forward to if you prefer a little bit of a break from the heat. That'll do it for our first Alert Weather Extra. Thanks for joining us here on WFSB Plus streaming live. We will have much more for you in the First Alert forecast and when it comes to our news headlines over on the Wax at 10 and again on Eyewitness News at 11. Our next First Alert Weather Extra is tomorrow morning at 8, streaming live right here on WFSB Plus and YouTube.